Okay, so if we all had a textbook, there's a page on there that lists the emotions in the workplace. Now I know these are obvious, but I'm listing them for a purpose. Our positive emotions in the workplace, and see how these go into self-esteem and self-efficacy. Positive would be joy, pleasure, excitement, interest, engagement, hope, affection, happiness, calmness, and confidence. If these illustrate a happy employee, happy people, enjoying serving the customer, whether the customer is an internal customer or an external customer. So this is all the good stuff. On the negative side, we have anger, frustration, doubt, embarrassment, shame, fear, despair, and worry. Now, you can see how once this all occurs, self-efficacy would go down because the person doesn't feel like they can get anything right. The self-esteem goes down in general, and as far as the organizational self-esteem goes, a person in this state cannot focus on serving the customer. So I know the lists are quite obvious. Positive emotions, negative emotions. But who is in control? Who is in control of these emotions within the employee? Well, the employee might have a lack of confidence to begin with, but generally speaking, and actually more than generally speaking, it's management. Management is the one ultimately responsible for creating negative emotions or positive emotions. It sounds like the management is actually a parent to a child, and it is kind of like that. The manager has control over the emotional state of employees. So the point here isn't so much about the list, but it does paint a picture of, does the manager create this or does the manager create that? All of these things that create anger, frustration, and doubt goes back to the same old thing, training, equipment, and the workplace. So we have to make a note here that when the employee's in this state or this state, most of the time we can look at management. Now it might be a coworker that's causing some of the negative emotions, but the manager's in control of the coworkers. So the manager has to step up and take care of the coworker's problems or the coworker, so the other employees can move to a state of joy. Now we have the concept of emotional intelligence. This is emotional intelligence in a nutshell. The easiest way to break it down as far as I'm concerned. Emotional intelligence is a whole book, so you can imagine it's more complicated than this, but for our purposes, if we could just get to this stage, we'd be a lot better in life and as a manager. So the first step of emotional intelligence is to control your emotions. Once we have explored and thought about internal factors and external factors, learning to stand there and do nothing, we should end up with a better understanding of our surroundings. And once you've done that, and I'm telling you that don't just do something, stand there, for me, it was a huge lesson, and I had to practice it for years. But once you can do that, you can control your emotions much better than you normally would. Meaning that when bad things happen, you can stay calm, stay focused, be a master of your emotions, and think about the situation. Don't fly off the handle, don't erupt, but control your emotions. Once we have a better understanding of people and situations, here again, external factors, internal factors, it's easier to maintain control over your emotions. Next part, for our little emotional intelligence in a nutshell, be able to try to read the emotions of other people. Now, are you going to blame it on internal factors or external factors? Well, that's difficult. Here again, the employee is upset. Is it the employee or the employee's external factors, their surroundings? So, when, let's say a person comes up, employee, or a coworker, anybody, comes up and they're very upset, before that attack occurs from yourself, you maintain control, you size up the person. They're upset. How bad are they upset? Maybe they're sad. So we size up their emotion, and then we need to make sure we know how we come across to others. Many times we might want to show that we're caring. Many times we might want to show that we're listening, being compassionate. We're listening to them and their expression of their emotions. We maintain control, and we don't react and get defensive. So we want to remain calm and listen to them, and they can see how we are. We're not upset. We're not fighting back. And then we need to move others to their happy place. Or fix the problem as much as we can. Instead of reacting, we listen, maintain our control, and see what the problem is, and then we try to fix it for them. This has gotten me out of trouble several times. If you can, instead of going nuts in this stage right here, if you can control your emotions while you're reading others' emotions, it's good for you, trust me. While you are controlling your emotions and you're reading the other person, your brain, hopefully, is going through all of the scenarios. Should I say this? Should I say that? Should I say nothing? If I say this, they're going to think that. If I say that, they're going to think that. What would be best? I am doing all of this at one time while I'm reading them and I'm listening to them, and I'm coming up with the best solution. I'm calm, stay calm. They see that I'm calm, and then I'm going to try to move them to their happy place. I've seen people get interrogated. I got interrogated. Some people got fired. I maintained control. I won. I got through the situation without an emotional outburst, while staying very calm, reading the situation. If I'd reacted in any way, I would have lost. I've also been almost arrested 3 times, and I'm telling you, this works with the police very well. Especially when your insurance is expired and you're at a checkpoint. And I'm telling you, I had to get them to their happy place and dance and do everything I could, but they went from you're going to jail to, hey, that guy needs a taxi, get him over here. So they actually turned around and started helping me. So I've had several situations with that. Also, when your family members come in, maybe you have kids or your brother and sister, and they come in, they're all upset, and now they start yelling at you, and you go, hold on now. I'm thinking, I haven't done anything to them. Why are they acting this way? Are they just being jerks, or do they have other problems? If you let it go and listen to what they have to say, stay calm, you'll be thankful that you've got that skill. And it just helps with relationships all over. You might, on the other side, notice that if you go into the house yelling, you can change the whole dynamic of the house. And you have a negative impact on everybody. But if you, let's say you're just frustrated about something and you want to let out some steam, but if you have emotional intelligence, you know that you can keep it in and deal with it. Nobody knows that you're upset until you express it. So I'm not saying hold it in until you have a heart attack. I'm just saying hold it in, think about it, think through the solutions without upsetting everyone around you. Now, as for co-workers and managers, we're here, this is business school, we're talking about management. Management. Emotional intelligence, low, how do we know? Egotistical, bossy. Actually, this is a lot of insecurity in here. They're not in control. They're confrontational. They want to have some kind of negative emotional impact on you. That's not right. Impulsive, aggressive. Impulsive, they don't stand there and think about what's going on. So this is actually a sign of stupidity. Emotional intelligence, people have high emotional intelligence, warm, calm, charming, getting people to move to their happy place, consistent. They're not exploding and having an emotional outburst all the time. They know how they come off to other people. They don't want to affect people like that. Listen, read others' emotions, listening, and be careful. We don't want to trample on anybody. We don't want to cause chaos in the building. Be calm. This will save you one day, trust me.